Nigeria's ambassador to China and Niger States, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Introductory remarks will be given by our business people and senior. Your Excellency, our governors, Your Excellency, to this honorable president, honorable ministers, Silva, COA. Ladies and gentlemen, here you have captains of industry.
Excellency, the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, yeah? Your Excellency, I'm pleased the CEO to actually invite me to come to better of the opportunities in distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Very hardworking.
Captains of industry. The agency is here. My pleasure to invite a large.
Yeah, this is Korea Importers Association, and then as a chairman of Korea Importers Association.
Before start, I must appreciate your ambassador's hard work in Korea these days.
Your Excellence today. I'd like to briefly introduce Daewoo ENC first. Daewoo ENC was established in.
Nice to see you all.
Ministers present here from Nigeria.
Mr. President and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's ask our ambassador to showcase the opportunities that are available in Nigeria. We did a strong showing, largely around the opportunities in the gas sector, Mr. President. And we've seen this working. First of all, let me acknowledge also that there is no single offshore facility that we have constructed in the last 15 years whose either top side or the hull that is not constructed in Korea or by a Korean company. And therefore, we are the biggest link between Korea and Nigeria, Mr. President. And of course, as we speak now, Mr. President, there are 2 vessels that are under construction here, LPG vessels in this country, and very many of the ones that are now operating in our country are also constructed in Korea, Mr. President. And opportunities are so clear today. First of all, they are also one of our biggest buyers of Nigerian LNG and also condensates and some of our sub-products that we bring into this country. So we do create the necessary linkage between Korea and Nigeria, not just about construction, but because there are clear trades that are going on, and we and our partners constitute the largest link between our country and Korea, Mr. President. And new opportunities have come up, Mr. President, also. With the passage of the PIA, with the changed fiscal environment, today, we're one of the most competitive business environment in the world in terms of the energy sector, and these opportunities have started coming up. Our most recent engagement has shown that Korean companies are taking interest in what we're doing. We are seeing their interest in the deep water, and I can see representative of Kenok here. And of course, they were in our country, but today it's a very different ball game, and we know that these opportunities are coming up. So it's very clear, Mr. President, today that the energy sector promises the biggest link and the most immediate link to Korean businesses, and also the reverse order of getting things done in this country from our country. Today, Mr. President, the Trend 7, is pushed by some Korean companies also, clear participation of Korean companies. The refinery rehabilitation, which we'll come back to you tomorrow, Mr. President, but more importantly, is the quickest engagement that we had, the most positive of the ones that we can, and it's coming from a Korean company. And of course, there are very many opportunities that are coming up. We are ready for business. We know that the opportunities are with us. The world needs gas. We need to liquefy it. You need to create chemicals. And these chemicals will forever be required even beyond year 2050. So we know that we are the link, and after these meetings, we will continue to engage, and that will bring the investment, and it's already paying off. And we have very many substantial positive engagements that we have secured for our country and for our business. And thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Since the establishment of relationship between Nigeria and Korea in 1980, the relationship between Korea and Nigeria continue to explore. And in African countries, only in Nigeria that Korean have a cultural center where they used to exchange their own culture with Nigerian community in Lagos. And apart from that, they continue to extend their sense of fellowship and friendship to Nigeria. Of course, I'm one of the beneficiaries, where in the early 90s I came here to do my master's degree in Korea Maritime and Ocean University, Busan. By special grace of God today, from what I learned in Korea, I'm one of the chief executives that anchored the maritime industry in Nigeria. As the senior special assistant to Mr. President mentioned, from 1990 downward, we continue to experience a number of attacks in our own territorial waters. The Korean ambassador has been my visitor in my office severally to see how we can secure the kidnapped Koreans from those hoodlums and criminals that used to attack our own waters. Under the watch of Mr. President, he continued to maintain the tempo of ensuring peace in our own territorial waters, both in two ways: kinetic operations, which is headed by Nigerian Navy, and non-kinetic operations, which is headed by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency. Under the non-kinetic operations, Mr. President ensured that he signed the bill of SPOMO Act, Suppression of Piracy and Other Maritime-Related Criminal Offenses. In so doing, we continue to manhunt those criminals. Under 1 year, we were able to apprehend not less than 20 and send them to jail. As we are talking, some of them, they are serving 10 years jail term, some of them serving 7 years jail term. This we introduce under the carrot and stick policy. So the stick, Mr. President also approved the commencement of the Deep Blue project. Under the Deep Blue project, we have a gamut of platforms, land, air, and sea, that we use to address this criminality. And in so doing, from the end of December 2020, we continue to see the decline in terms of attacks, kidnapping, and other maritime-related crime. By the third quarter of 2021, Nigeria continued to record 0 attack in our own territorial waters to date. Not only that, Mr. President ensured that the issue of maritime safety is being handled through the ensuring that our navigational waters are safe. Mr. President approved the nationwide removal of wrecks, the contract that has already been commenced for over 12 months ago, which has the lifespan of 36 months. Ladies and gentlemen and businessmen of Korea, this is the right time to invest in the maritime industry. There is no other time that we have than now to ensure that the maritime industry, which is almost burgeoning in Nigeria, we harness and tap the maximum resources we have in Nigeria. And in so doing, Mr. President inaugurated the National Committee on Deep Blue on Blue Economy. As we all know, most of the countries in Asia develop using their own maritime potentials. And the issue of blue economy is what is thriving today in the whole world. And the Nigerian maritime industry is now moving towards ensuring and reactivating the shipbuilding industry, the coastal water business, and the inland water business. And this is the time to invest in a small crafts. The CEO Samsung mentioned as of FPS or Eugenia. What of the coastal waters? What of the small crafts? Those are areas that we can now harness. So ladies and gentlemen, we are going to open our floor for the PPP arrangement to ensure the potential of our youth that we have in Nigeria, which constitute more than 60% of the Nigerian populace, to take the advantage of those population and ensure that we make use of that to develop our countries. I don't have much time. I was given only 3 minutes. So I am opening this as a teaser to Korean's press and Hanmika. To others, thank you so very much for listening. Thank you.
I am pleased to meet you all, a representative of your various Korean companies that are strategically involved in Korean economy. As you are aware, I am in Seoul for the World Bio 2022. I only took advantage of being at this summit to engage the Korean economic operators in priority areas that can be mutually beneficial to our two countries and peoples. Therefore, meeting with you, captains of industries, whose impact on national economies is not in doubt, is extremely necessary. I am aware that there are some significant investments in Korean companies in Nigeria in the field of construction or heavy-duty industries, ICT and electronics, as well as chemical production. I believe that at the 2021, there are at least more than 20 Korean companies registered in Nigeria, among which are the Samsung, Daewoo, and Hyundai heavy-duty industries, as well as LG and Samsung Electronics and the electrochemical industry. Those companies have continued to contribute immensely to the growth of the Nigerian GDP and have created job opportunities in the country. I look forward to increased investments by Korean private companies in Nigeria as we resolve the issues of enabling relevant agreements such as investment promotion and the avoidance of double taxation between our two countries. With a nominal GDP of $431.97 billion United States dollars, Nigeria's economy remains the largest in Africa, with vast human capital and natural resources. The steady improvement from the global economic downturn of 2020 indicates that the Nigerian economy is on a firm path of recovery. I implore you, therefore, to take advantage of the many investment opportunities in Nigeria, especially in the areas of oil and gas, trade manufacturing, ICT, creative industry, and culture exchange. It is worthy of emphasis to underscore that the business environment in Nigeria offers low corporate tax regime, VAT rates, flexible labor market conditions, and simple procedures for establishing businesses. Nigeria remains committed to creating a stable and enabling business environment for foreign investors through the formulation of sound economic policies and improved governance. Furthermore, security forces have been working assiduously with local communities to ensure the security of lives and properties of Nigerians and foreign investors. Our administration has prioritized power infrastructure under the Presidential Power Initiative. In this regard, Nigeria has procured modern power equipment which was inaugurated in September 2022 as part of phase project to generate 25,000 megawatts of electricity by 2025. Furthermore, to ensure ease of clearance of cargo, giant strides have been digitalized of the processes in our seaports as well as airports. I wish to conclude by inviting you to increase your investments in Nigeria as we continue to make determined efforts to improve the enabling environment for business to flourish. I have to digress at this point to mention that once upon a time when I was in uniform, I was a Minister of Petroleum Resources. That was why I wouldn't leave that ministry alone. I can only trust it to a junior minister to serve under me and under the ministry. It was during those days, I think in 1978, the relationship between Nigeria and Korea in terms of investment was highly documented in the terms of the LNG agreement, which is, for those who know about petroleum industry, the LNG agreement is at least for 20 years. So from 1978, we are bound by international business interest and agreement with South Korea. So I think we are still keeping our faith in providing the LNG shipping to Korea, and Korea is of course paying the dollars, especially the United dollars for the gas they are taking from Nigeria. I don't know how I missed coming here much earlier, but the LNG agreement was a very, very strong political and economic tie between our two countries. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. President. President, this is your